Hi there, my name is Eamon Toomey of Step Change, and I'm delighted to welcome you to this first in a series of videos. The goal of this series is to provide you with a practical roadmap to getting your business in top shape to address the challenges of the future, as identified in the research completed by Brokers Ireland called Preparing for 2030, a guide for financial brokers. It was a fairly extensive piece of research that was carried out in Ireland and also within 5 international markets, and it sought to identify the changes that we're likely to see in the sector over the next 5 to 10 years. The purpose of the research was to inform Brokers Ireland as to how they can shape their own objectives and their support services to consolidate and grow their positioning as the representative body for financial brokers in Ireland, and indeed as the voice of the sector. A supplementary piece of work was also commissioned in the form of a technical guide for you, the financial brokers. This was developed to extract the key learnings from the research report with a view to helping you prepare your own business for the future. The technical guide identified 12 practical steps to help you prepare yourself for 2030, and today's video is about the first of those steps, knowing your target market. The guide that I mentioned can be found on the technical guide section of the Financial Broker website, and we can see it here, the guide, Preparing for 2030, a guide for financial brokers. There's also a second guide that will be very useful as you do this work on target markets, and that's this guide to developing a business strategy for financial brokers. Pages 14 to 16 are particularly relevant in this second guide. These are the two relevant guides, with this first one containing the 12 action points that will be covered in this video series. Okay, so before we get into today's topic, we're just going to take a step back for a second because the research identified 3 high-level questions that it's important to be able to answer as you think ahead to 2030. The first of these is, who will your clients be? Because in Ireland today, we see many financial broker businesses that already have carefully identified their target markets and are quite focused on these particular client groups above all else. We believe this will be a very important success factor in the future. While very large businesses may be able to continue to offer a broad range of advice and product services to the population in general, it is anticipated that the typical smaller financial broker business will need to specialise. This will entail having broader knowledge for narrower groups of clients. The ultimate aim will be to become known as the specialist go-to girl or guy in a specific sector or among a narrower group of clients. You'll be more focused on what you're excellent at and who you're best working with. In the future, it'll be hard to be all things to all people and easier and more profitable to work with your ideal clients only. And this is going to be the focus of today's video. The second and third big questions that need to be answered are in relation to what services will you offer and how will you deliver those services effectively. We'll be digging in detail into these topics later in the video series, but I think at the highest level at this stage, it's worth saying that the delivery of a one-size-fits-all model for all clients is unlikely to be viable going forwards. Okay, so now let's focus on target markets. The research identified that it's likely over the next decade that financial brokers will continue to mainly target the mass affluent and high net worth sections of society. But within this, you're likely to target different segments of the market, based largely on your own area of expertise and where you can access clients easily. This is who you'll target, and the positioning of your business will need to be completely aligned with this. It is important to find a balance, though, between being able to clearly find specific groups of the population that you're targeting and not going too narrow to a point where your target groups cannot sustain your business. In the past, some financial brokers may have been tempted to aim their services at a very wide audience. However, the challenge with this today is that it is very difficult to connect with people if your message is so broad that it needs to appeal to anyone. Targeting somebody, everybody and anybody may in fact mean that you're targeting nobody. On the other hand, having clarity of your target market allows you to focus your attention, create awareness and engagement, and ultimately influence that group of people that your services are particularly suited to. That's not to say that you'll only have clients within this narrow target market. Other clients will emerge that you didn't actively target. They may come via a referral from an existing client, or indeed a child of an existing client, for example. Target markets are important, and we've identified 4 actions for you to clarify the markets that are appropriate for you. The first step is to consider the markets that are available to you. The second is to decide the ones that you'll target, while the third is really about understanding these markets at a deep level. We're going to look at each of these in turn, while the fourth step of refining your marketing channels to build your presence is a subject for another day. Here are the 4 categories that are used to define target markets. The first 2 are fairly straightforward and clear, while the lines between the last 2, psychographic and behaviours, can be a little bit blurred. But I wouldn't agonise over this. As you'll see over the remainder of this video, it's simply a case of building clarity of the group that you want to target by considering their various attributes. Geographic is very straightforward. Are you targeting people in a specific target area, or are you willing to chase all over Ireland? This will impact your time and indeed whether your marketing efforts are nationwide or more locally focused. Under demographic, you may be looking at clients of a specific age or of a specific profile, such as business owners or professionals. Under psychographic and behaviours, you're attempting to identify clients who share similar values or act in similar ways. There are examples of these on the slide. But the target market or markets, you can have more than one that you choose is likely to have a mix of a number of these dimensions. Hopefully, by considering these different categories, you can start to identify particular groups that you might want to target. Okay, so moving on now to actually deciding which groups you're going to target. I think in order to do that, there's a set of questions that you might ask yourself. Now, in the interest of keeping this video pretty brief, I don't intend to go through them one by one. Certainly from my own experience of working with financial brokers on identifying their target markets, I think that if you go through each of these questions, the optimal set of target markets for you are likely to emerge. Really, the questions are there to provoke your thinking about your own skill sets, your preferred types of clients, and potential access. The questions also might get you thinking about some actions to take to increase your prospects of building a presence in your chosen target market. The next step is to build a clear understanding of your target market. And I think a very effective way of doing this is by building personas of the people within your target market. This means identifying their unique characteristics and also some of the strategies that you might use to actually attract clients in your chosen segment. Indeed, it's quite likely that you will have one or more target markets and as a result, one or more client personas to consider. Obviously, you don't want to end up with lots and lots of client personas because then you're back with the challenge of trying not to talk to everybody but to your chosen groups. Now, as an example, I've built out one persona here to give you a sense of some of the attributes you might want to consider and also some of the strategies that you might want to employ. I hope that you can see how this might help you to get you thinking about the best ways to go after your chosen clients. It all starts with really understanding them, their specific challenges and their motivations. Okay, so as we wrap up today's video, let's just summarize again the benefits for you of spending some time considering your target markets. First of all, it enables you to identify where you should be aiming your efforts. Then once you have your bullseye client in mind, this clarity will help you to bring consistency to your proposition and to your marketing. This laser-like focus will in turn help you to stand apart from the crowd. And as I mentioned earlier, having a clear target market doesn't prevent you from working with clients that might come to you from outside of your target market. It's just that you won't be actively trying to attract just anybody as a client of your business. So I hope today's video was helpful, and I just want to finish by reminding you of those financial broker guides that are well worth a read as you undertake this work. Best of luck in developing your target markets.